Welcome to the TheFallenState. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you all so much for being with me. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to support us by going to TheFallenState.tv/donate. And also you can go to locals.com. Just click on the link there in the description. And I appreciate it. I have with me Anthony Roger, and he is a stand-up comedian and host of the Anthony Rogers Show. Anthony, thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no, thanks for having me on, man.
Happy Men's History Month. Did you know that August is Men's History Month?
Well, I do now. That's why I guess this month's going so awesome. Did you name this, or is it like a thing? So, like, how did this come about?
Well, I started it 7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Because
That's right.
I realized that men are under attack, and we got to do something to keep the men focused on themselves so they not fall for the attack that's happening. Men are hated in this country today.
Oh yeah, they definitely hate anyone strong, like anyone with an opinion. I know you're not following that strict script, man. They hate you for sure.
Yes. Anthony, what's important to you?
God, mostly. Outside of that, everything else kind of seems secondary, you know?
Yeah. And when you say God, are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. And when you say God is important to you, how do you know he is important to you?
I think it's the most important part of my life. This whole thing's a soul test. You know, I think I'm just in the middle of a soul test, you know? And I think that you can't lose track of that, I guess, no matter how fun and cool the world gets, you know?
And when you say a soul test, what do you mean?
Well, just a test in the soul to see if you're good or evil. You know, I feel as if that's mostly what this is, you know?
Oh, okay. And what have you found about yourself, good or evil?
I mean, I'm trying to be good, you know? I think, I don't know. I think now I'm good, you know? I actively serve God and stuff. I think when I was a kid, I wasn't, but, you know? Now I'm trying to get...
And what is good about you now?
That's a great question. I don't know how to even answer that, man. It's a good question. I guess I try to treat people well, but I don't always. You know, I try to do the right thing. You know, I try to like follow that inner voice that tells you to, you know, not cut people off in traffic and yell at them and stuff. You know, just like try to just like kind of compliment everybody, make them feel better than they did before they talk. You know, kind of. I think that's what you should be doing.
And so what is good about you?
I mean, I don't know, actually. That's a great question. I try to help everybody, I guess. You know, I think that's the easiest way. I try to help anyone that asks me for something, I guess. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't really know the answer. If I was going to be completely honest with you, I feel like I'd be BSing an answer. And I don't know, to be honest. It's a great question. I have to examine that, actually. I've never been asked that. Like, that's great. Great question, though, legit.
Thank you. And who is Anthony?
Oh, man, that's a great question. It's like it's just like a human grunt, you know, of a word, you know, just like just find your soul in this rotting vessel. You know, I don't know, man. That's a good question. I'm just I think I'm a comedian, but like I feel and other things, but I think that's just a career label. I probably should have had a dream that wasn't a job. You know, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm a human being trying to figure it out like the rest of us, I guess. You know.
Oh, okay. So you don't know who you are?
I do to a degree. I think it's I don't know. I do to a degree. I know I'm like I know I go by Anthony, and I know that people call me that, and I know that like I'm on this earth. I know certain. You know, I just like feel like I don't know. I don't know who anybody is really. You know, ultimately, you know, I know certain characteristics. You know.
So you know what you do. You're a comedian. Your name is Anthony Roger, but you don't know who you are. You know what you do, but you don't know who you are.
To a degree, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, your questions are deep, and I love this actually. Like you think a lot, and I like that. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I don't think I just think I'm just doing this game. You know, this American game. You know.
And when you say this game, what game?
I mean, just like like have pieces of paper with presidents on them, and just try to do as much as you can for like it's just this American board game. Yeah. That feels like.
And you say you're a Christian, right?
Yes, sir.
And do you have perfect peace?
Oh man, I think I chase that. I don't know if I have that. I think I chase that though.
And how do you chase it? Tell me how you chase it.
Well, as I get older, I try to rest more. I don't know. I think rest is my perfect peace at this point. But no, I don't know. I just try to do the right thing and evolve. I think that's the goal, is to evolve here.
And so when you say you chase perfect peace, what are you chasing? How do you do it? Can you tell me the steps in chasing perfect peace?
In synthetic form, probably marijuana, but in non-synthetic form, just good deeds. It's just like the true goodness is probably just being good to other people, and ultimately like taking care of your hydration, your working out, your other stuff like that. But I think I cheat a lot, and I eat a lot of edibles and smoke a lot of weed. It's
Oh,
probably the
yeah.
easiest way.
And why do you smoke a lot of weed and all that?
Probably because I mean, that's a deep question. Probably because in March my mom passed away, so I'm just trying not to be sad all the time. Yeah.
Oh, so you're sad. How long? When did she expire?
Oh man, March 29th.
Of this year?
Yes, sir.
2024.
Yes, sir.
And March, and you're not over that yet.
Oh God, no, I probably never will be.
And, and why not?
I don't know. Moms are very important.
In what way?
I mean, she's the whole reason I'm here.
I'm sorry?
She's basically the whole reason I'm even here.
Meaning what?
I mean, she created me. I mean, she created me, and then just it's gone. It's a weird feeling.
Oh, I see. But your mother didn't create you. Your father put you inside of her.
Oh,
and
okay. Ultimately, yes.
And
yes,
all she did was carry the bread until it was baked, and she let it out.
Yeah, you're right, bro. You're right, man. That's more accurately put. Yes.
And so, how old are you?
I'm 38 years old.
So now that she's gone, why not let her go and just live your life? Why do you hold on to the memories?
I don't know, just an important person.
In what way?
I mean, every way. Taught me everything.
Your father.
She's really into.
Were you raised just by your mother, not your father?
I had several stepdad figures, but no, my biological father was he passed away of a drug overdose years ago, and was never really in my life at all. I did have stepfather figures though.
Oh, I see. So you miss your father? You still yearn for your father? Like something is missing, and
never
it's
met him.
Missing of your father? Never
really met him. I have 38 years of memories of my mom, and I don't have any memories of my biological father. I think I met him like maybe a handful of times. So you don't miss what you don't know. Almost. Is how I feel.
What was it like growing up and not knowing your father? What was that like, not being close to him?
I see it more as an adult, but I feel like it held me back more when I was looking as an adult. As a kid, you don't really live multiple lives. So I at least remember them. If you do, so you basically I don't know any different. I mean, I don't know what it's like to even have. I don't know what it'd be like to have a father. I don't know what it's like not to. As far as I don't know the difference. Is what I'm trying to say.
Really?
No, I don't feel like I know the difference. I guess media. When you don't have a strong father, I think media raises you more. I think you look for strong people through media and through other outlets other than family because of that. I think it's definitely held me back my youth and stuff. I think, but I think now. I mean, I think I'm not much now.
So, do you regret growing up being so close to your mother?
Not at all. Not at all.
Are you like your mother?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah. We're both we're both smart asses, and we're both into music and movies and stuff.
Really? And you okay with being like your mother?
This reminds me of all these clips I've seen you, bro. Oh, I feel like I'm falling through. I'm falling from that trap already, huh? No, but I think not necessarily.
Go ahead.
No, I just remember seeing you go off on some guy about this, and it just made me laugh. On reels, but no, I think the attributes I received from my mother are good. I think she's the only reason I'm in entertainment, probably, and the only reason I'm I mean, in a lot of these things, I think I think my mom was the person I was trying to impress the most, and now I'm just left with no one to impress. It's kind of how I feel right now.
So you're not married, no children or anything?
I'm married. I do have a wife. I do not have kids yet. I probably will soon, hopefully 9 months from tonight, hopefully.
Oh, okay. And so you are married?
Yes, sir.
And does your wife obey you?
When she needs to. I mean, I feel like it's like the modern world's kind of a little different to where like we're not hunting and fishing and they're not gathering. So it's just I think both genders are kind of just like confused and have no idea what to even do right now. As the world's so easy. But I think in moments she has to, like I think when I go back to a week ago or so. I think when this guy was like trying to be threatening, I think she knows when to, yes. I'd say if I pulled that card, yes. And when I do, yes.
And so she does obey you?
If I pull that card, yes. But I'm just,
what do you mean by pull that card? I don't know what that means.
If it's like important, like if in an important situation where like I see the solution, that she would, yeah, for sure. But I think like I don't go around trying to boss people around. I honestly hate being told to do, so I kind of like don't really tell people to do unless it's very important. Unless it's like, life-saving or like, up there.
Yeah. And so how do you deal with the hell in her when it comes out? You know how when she's just mad and controlling and you're like, what's up? What's you all happy?
She's not controlling.
How do you deal with the hell in her?
I'm lucky to where like she deals with the hell in me because like she's more of a very nice. She's very nice and sweet and patient. She's not really much to handle, to be honest with you. And I think I'm probably more to handle than she is what I'm trying to say.
So she have to deal with the hell in you?
At times, yeah. At times, just being around me, being mad or something, yeah.
Really?
But I think she's very patient and kind, and I got very lucky with this. I got married older in life, and I think I made the right choice.
Amazing. Are you a mama's boy?
Well, I mean, I was. I don't know if I can be anymore, but no, definition wise. But yeah, no, I was for sure,
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think my mom's the only person I was trying to impress in this world, That's the only person I really try to impress.
Really?
And now I'm just I'm doing all this stuff still, but I'm just like, I can't like call her and brag about it. It's just weird. It feels weird.
Yeah.
It feels weird.
Were you living with her when she died?
Well, she got really sick for 4 years, so off and on, yes. And I was staffing the nurses and people around, and friends and family around there, and I was working in a rotation with people, and I was there a lot. Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. And so, but I hear that mama's boys don't make for good husbands and fathers. Is that true?
Well, I mean, not in my case, but I'm sure in some. Yeah, I think when it's used as like I think some people could be weak, but I think I don't know. I think I could be close to my mom and still be a man. I feel like
And how can you do that? Be a mama's boy and still be a man? How is that possible?
Well, I think just as a mom, I feel like the definition of like being close. I feel like I'm just close to my mom. My mom is like my main family. So I think that's why I said yes to being a mama's boy. But I think that outside of I created things myself, I could build things, I could do things, I could just do. I feel like I still do whatever needs to be done. Like if a car is broken, I fix it. Like I'm a solution-based person. I think that's what men are. I think men are very solution-based people, and I think I'm like that as well.
So do you? So your wife older or younger than you?
Younger. She's 33. I'm 38.
Oh, good. That's amazing. And so you mentioned that you smoke pot.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because you don't have perfect peace? I
mean, that sounds real. I mean, when you said that, it sounded real, and I'd be a liar to say no. So I'd say, yeah, I'd say that's an easy synthetic way of doing it. I can do it through like working out and certain other ways, but I think it definitely is a cheat code for that. Yeah.
And so why don't you overcome so you can have perfect peace?
I'm trying to. I'm in the process of that. I feel as if I quit smoking weed for a long time until my mom passed away. And then and I think I was at perfect peace until she passed. And then I'm trying to fight that right now, fight the darkness and just depression and all that.
Why don't you just drop your anger so you can have perfect peace?
I'd love to. If you have an idea how to do that, I would love that more than anything, Brian.
Oh, good. Okay. We'll get to that in a minute. All right.
You have great energy, by the way. I like this.
I'm sorry?
You have great energy. You have really deep, thoughtful questions. And like I like your energy a lot, man. It's like,
thank you.
It's interesting. Talking to you one-on-one's interesting. Like,
yeah, thank you. Do you create your own thoughts?
I feel as if I do. I think they're influenced by other things, but I still think that I do in current day, free will and stuff.
And how do you create your own thought? Tell me the steps of how to create a thought.
It just happens. I mean, I think it just happens naturally within your head. You have that internal monologue, and I think that's your thought base. And I think I think we're all creative people. We're made in the creator's image, so I think we're all just creators. And at a micro level, not compared to the creator, but you know what I'm saying.
But if it just happening naturally in your head, how are you creating them?
I feel like that's me. That's my essence creating it.
You believe that you are your thoughts?
I think that's now you have me questioning. I didn't until you asked me that, but yeah, I thought so until you asked me that. Now I'm double thinking it. I don't know.
And what are you thinking now?
I'm open to more information at this point, but as of right now, I do think that that's my soul communicating through all these, whatever this rotting vessel is, all these organs and whatever words we have for them.
And so you believe your soul create thoughts?
I hope. I mean, I think it's my essence with the soul within me. Yeah, I feel like that for sure.
So you don't believe you created them. You think the soul created them.
I am my soul.
Or you think you create them and your soul create them?
I think I think I am my soul. You know, I think that's that what we really are is our soul. I think everything else is kind of weird roller coaster ride distraction in the human body. You know.
I see. And so, but how do you create them?
Naturally, I think it just happened. I think we're just naturally creative people that create them.
So, but I asked you if you create your own thoughts. You said yes, and I'm asking you, how do you, Anthony, create your own thoughts?
What do you mean? I feel like I do create my own thoughts. I could be wrong. I just
tell me the steps of how you create your own thoughts.
I think it just naturally happens. You know, it's like it just happens. Like I'm just sitting here thinking. You know, I think it just happens.
So, do you create?
It's response based.
I'm sorry. So what?
I feel as if it's response based almost. I mean, just natural response based. You know, it's like well, in this situation at least. But I think like I don't know. You just have like all this data from years of being alive, and then like I think it just pattern recognition. I don't have the words for it, but that's a great question. To be honest with you, I don't know the exact answer if I was to be completely fair with that. You have me thinking more deep on that. You know.
And so, if you create your own thoughts, why do you create bad thoughts for yourself? Thoughts that make you feel sad, that make you feel afraid, make you feel lonely. Why do you create those thoughts if you are the creator of your thoughts?
Great point. Great point.
No, that was a question.
No, I know, but I'm just saying you just made that's a great I don't know. I don't have the answer, but you have me thinking that I can change that easier now. Like basically. That's how I feel. I mean, you're right. That's a dumb thing to do. Like basically, it's super dumb. Yeah, I know. That's right.
So what is it like being alive but not thinking about life? Why things happen and where they come from? What's going on with you? What is it like being alive and not knowing those things?
Well, I think I think about that a lot. I don't know.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I think like marijuana naturally makes you think like that. I think that's the natural state of being high almost. It's like questioning everything. I think sobriety you can do it too through it, but I think like especially through smoking weed, you always think like that. I mean, I do when I smoke, I think like that. Like I kind of question everything constantly, you know, and try to arrive at answers.
When you're high, you think about those things?
More so than normal, yeah. More so than normal. I do it normally as well, but I think, yeah, I'd say more so than normal.
And why not think about them more so when you're not high than when you're high?
I don't know. I think there's like a separation. I think when I smoke, everything slows down a little bit.
Oh,
when I don't smoke, I'm just running this rat race around I'm really task based and really accomplishment based. So I'm just always doing something. You know, I'm just going to the gym or going to the, you know, some show or some state away, you know, I'm always just doing something.
What would happen if for 1 hour, only 1 hour or 30 minutes, if you did nothing but just sat still and did nothing? What would happen?
I'd be relaxed, probably.
So why don't you do more of that?
I just got off a month break. I just got back to town. I was out of town for summer. I took a 72-day break and was just at pool bars and like the lake and having fun the whole time and relaxed as well. Yeah.
Are you an only child?
Nah, in a way, yes. I was in a way I was raised like that. I have several siblings. I have a sister with that had a different father, and then I have siblings through him as well. I was like adopted 3, so I technically have like 3 siblings, but I was raised almost as if an only child after a certain point because like they all got all this drama. Yeah, but yeah and no, technically no. But I was raised like it from like a certain age on.
And I was going to ask, why don't you guys get along? I noticed you guys don't like one another. Why is that?
I get along with my family. I get along with them really well, my siblings and stuff.
Do you really?
Say that I didn't? Yeah, I get along with them really well.
Oh, good. How is that possible?
Well, family's really important to me. So I think that basically I've made sure to put together. I'm trying to actually put back together my family in a lot of ways, and I think that I just think family's important. So I have a kind of different kind of respect. Like if somebody goes off of me that's a stranger, I'd probably just be like, I'd probably be more responsive. But like when it's family, I kind of like try to see where they come from and patience. I don't know. I have a lot more patience for family. I feel like
Oh, you do more than anyone else?
I'd say, yeah.
Do you love white people?
I love everybody.
Do you love white
So
people?
yes. So yes, I love everybody.
Uh,
Yes.
you love white people?
Hmm.
Amazing. So, Anthony, how did you become a comedian? How did that all come about? And what is that like living a comedian life?
It's like being a almost 40-year-old teenager. It's like you have the easiest life of all time. I mean, I feel like I have the easiest life of all time. My job's not really a job. I just kind of mumble. I just kind of talk for 30 minutes and then I get paid more than I should. And then,
Yeah.
and I don't really, I mean, I don't feel like I contribute pretty much nothing to society and get rewarded for being immature. I mean, that's pretty much what I feel like. I feel like it is. It's fun. And it was like a child's dream. And now I'm like almost 40. So I don't know if it's, you know what I mean? I'm living my 20-something-year-old dream, but I'm aging. So I'm trying to figure out my next dream, you know?
Yeah. And do you tell black jokes?
I tell all jokes. Yes. So yes, I tell all jokes. Yes.
I know, and the reason I ask that because in the good old days, comedians can tell whatever kind of joke they want. You know what I mean? But I noticed
still do, yeah.
lately that comedians have been under attack. There are things that you can't say, and blah blah blah. Are you dealing with that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, they try to ban, dude. I was called like a white supremacist by the Washington Post. I mean, they'll try to say anything when you're not obedient. You know, they try to bully you into all this weird stuff I don't care about. And like I want to correct one thing though. You said we can't say something. We can. They just tell us we can't. They just tell us we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still say whatever I want. I have a free soul, you know.
I love that correction. You're absolutely right. I believe the same thing. You can say what you want. They try to tell you what you can say or not say, but you don't have to listen to that. You can say what you want. They say what they want.
God. Yeah, and they just crowd. I only serve God. I don't serve man. You know, like a man can say whatever they want to me.
Yeah, that's right. So, like when you were growing up, I was thinking about this. When you were growing up, were you like the class clown? How did you know you want to be a comedian?
I fell into this. I was actually got blacklisted as a writer. And I'm not talented as a musician. I try to be a musician too, and I'm just not talented. And then comedy was like the easiest way. And yeah, I was a class clown, I guess, like in school, middle school, high school, stuff like that, in college and stuff. But so I think that came natural to me. My sense of humor and stuff like that came naturally to me. Where like playing music just sounded bad because I was not made to do that.
Yeah. And so your classmates, your friends and classmates, they knew one day you'd be a comedian?
I think they just thought I was funny. I don't think anybody thought I'd do anything. Like, you know, I think I kind of was a late bloomer. So
yeah.
I think like, but they thought I was funny though, I think.
I don't think my classmates thought I was going to do much either.
Really?
Because I was like, there were 18 in my class, 18 students, and I was number 18.
What? That is so small. That's crazy. Where were you from again?
From Alabama.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Alabama's smaller. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And when I was going to school, there were not a lot of kids in your class like it is today.
Yeah, that's crazy. Mine was a couple thousand probably.
Yeah. I know. I went to Gary, Indiana for a year. And I went to high school, the 10th grade up there. And there was like over 1,000 kids in my class. I'm like, what the?
Culture shock.
Yeah, it was. That was too many in there. I want to ask, do you agree with me that educated women do not make for good wives and mothers?
I mean, education is kind of vague. It depends on what education. I don't know. That's a tough question. There's outliers to every situation. I'd say generally probably, but I'd say there's outliers to every situation. It depends on the definition of education. It depends on a couple of things. But I'd say mostly, yeah. I think women should go back to like the role that they were created for, you know, instead of like trying to be an insurance salesman or whatever they're doing now.
That's what I agree. And were women created to be leaders or followers?
Followers.
I'm sorry?
Followers for sure.
Yeah. And so when you say that, when you're in your circle, you're going around in your world, And you say, well, you know what? Women are not created to be leaders, but follow. How do they respond to you?
I don't. People know I'm really abrasive. I don't know. People are just used to it by now. I guess like just me saying whatever I think. I think people just the people around me are good people. They just let me say, even if I was completely wrong, they just let me be myself. I think that's what friends are.
Well, that's good, man. That's a rare. A rarity. You don't see that where people just let you be yourself anymore.
Yeah, you're one of the few people I've seen on. I just now met you, but like watching your reels and stuff like that, you seem very authentic too, and I think that's what I respect most about you is that you stand your ground and you speak your truth. You don't like you're not trying to impress anybody, but you're like I don't know. You don't seem like you're trying to impress anybody.
Right, and you seem to be the same way. Am I reading it right?
I try, yeah. No, I try my best, yeah.
Nice.
To be authentic.
And so, how important is politics to you? Are you involved in politics?
I ran for Congress out of St. Louis in 2020. I was the Republican nominee for Congress
Really?
for District 1. So, yeah, no, I definitely like politics. I think we're at a scary time for politics, if I was to be honest with you. But I think it's needed more than ever to fix these policies before, like, whoever's taking over takes over. It seems like China, but I don't know who it is right now. It seems like we're going through this weird decline of the West and murder of the West. And I'm trying just to stay alive and like let them, whatever's going on here. I feel like we're in this weird communist takeover, to be honest with you.
And will you ever run again? I like that idea. I like that hearing that you ran. Will you run again?
It depends. If circumstances like were there, yes. I only really did 2020 because they're shutting down my town and the world and stuff like that. And I wanted that law pen. And I was like, give me that pen. You're not doing this. That's kind of what I wanted. And I just felt like that was a time that someone needed to voice that everything was crazy and I'm not a slave,
Yes. So are you more conservative? Are you a conservative?
Yeah, I'm Republican, yes.
Right on. And I don't want to assume anything, but I'm believing now that you're supporting the Great White Hope.
Define the Great White Hope. What does that mean?
You don't know who the Great White Hope is?
Oh, you talking about Donald Trump? Is that what you're trying to say?
I rest my case.
That's so funny. You got a way of saying things. That's funny, man. It's not even a choice, really. The left made a choice for who they want to be president, and the people made a choice with Donald Trump. So it just depends on. It depends on what happens. We're in a weird time, and I hope this isn't played at my Chinese Communist Party trial.
Yeah.
But yes, I do back Trump and the Republican Party.
When the attempt assassination was made upon him, what were you and what did you think when you heard that had happened? What went through you?
That kind of gave me chills. You even asked that question. I think we're in the most scary time in my lifetime right now, where these people will do anything to get rid of that guy out of office. And I think they're trying to push us. I think they're trying to do things like this to push a civil war. And they want to sell both sides guns. And I think they want us all to fight each other and argue with each other nonstop. And I think that's another aspect of that. Yeah, it scared me, and for someone trying to stand up for America, just getting shot, and it's terrifying because that could happen to anybody. And if it's happening to the president, it could happen to anybody, and it's just nuts. When they deplatformed him, when they tried to put him in jail, when they shot at him, every time I'm just like, when is this going to stop? And when can we have the West back? It's just annoying to me personally.
When that happened, I was already concerned about him. But when that happened, I'm like, this is bad. And I'm just hoping that he be careful, and because I just don't think it's over yet, because these people are desperate to maintain so-called power and control. And I just don't know what they would do next. And I'm also saying to the Trump supporters that they better be careful with their anger, not to overreact. Because if you overreact, especially the white guys, if they overreact, they're going to be locked up just like that.
They already are. There's people in there for 4 years already still from that January 6th stuff. It's a terrifying time. They're arresting their political opponents. This is like it's definitely a weird world, man. Like I don't feel safe in America right now.
And what's your impression of Kamala Harris?
I don't know. She just laughs at everything. She doesn't have a personality. She doesn't. She didn't earn where she went at all. She wasn't even really elected. I think they faked the pandemic to put Joe Biden in office. So I don't think I personally don't even think she was elected. I don't think she even won. And then they're trying to push her as president now. And it's like, this is just a they're trying to make it Obama's fourth term. I guess I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like Barack Obama's fourth term.
I know, man. It's a mess. Well, you know what's amazing to me is that she has not done anything, stood for anything good or anything, and yet there's people who are still voters who are still supporting her. I can't. That's mind blowing to me.
It is. Yeah, I can't. I couldn't imagine listening to her you and be like, "Well, that's a good leader." You know, it's just like it's just. It just, yeah, it just makes. And she's a prosecutor. She puts people in prisons of slavery, the modern slavery. And, I mean, she basically. I mean, from my perspective, the left tries to pretend like they're anti-slavery while they put people in privatized prisons for profit, and like, it's just disgusting. It's completely disgusting to me, and I couldn't imagine falling for it. I think it's true. I think people just lack the education and they're going off heart rather than mind. And I think that, like, if you do no homework at all, the left feels like the good guys when you're a kid, at least. And then when you start doing homework, you're like, these are monsters. These are complete monsters. Yeah. And like, that's what we're fighting. It's a spiritual war, really. And then they have darkness for sure. I mean,
you said that you were accused of being a racist. Why did they call you a racist? Or white supremacy?
I made fun of the Ferguson riots, like that Mike Brown stuff. And I said,
nice.
I said Ferguson. I said, nice. You're the first person to ever say that. So, but no, I said St. Louis, Missouri looks like a rap video because they're all just like drinking out of Quick Trip wine bottles and all this stuff, and I just thought it was funny. And like, I was just meaning it as a joke. I just thought it was funny, and I thought we had free speech and freedom of press, but it turns out it's not true. And then they just put me on blast and call me racist. They're like, really terrible or bad writer, racist Anthony Rogers. And I'm like, I'm a writer. I'm like, cool, I'm a writer now. You know, and like, that's just kind of how my mind works. I'm like, you can call me whatever you want, but I'm glad I'm a writer now. You know,
right? And so, what's wrong with the blacks?
Nothing. I don't have any problem with anybody, really. I mean, it's individually based from my perspective. It's like, I mean, I can make jokes about it, but if I'm answering you honestly, I think that literally, I mean, everybody's it's a fair chance person to person. You know, it's never like one thing. Like, I don't hate any group of people.
But what I'm asking is, what's wrong with the blacks?
What's wrong with them? They're late. They're late to everything.
They're late. That's what shit. And they call it always late. And they call it CP time.
Yeah, they do. I was making a joke, and I don't know if people think this is funny or not, but I was making a joke last night about talking about how black people make the worst slaves because they're never on time. And I was just like, just talking about like, yeah, they'll be in these fields soon. They'll be there. They'll be there. Just I don't know. It makes me laugh. But yeah.
They when I moved to California, and I wanted to have a party or something, and I wanted the party to start at 8 or 9. I will always tell them it's gonna be at 7. Because I knew they were going to be late.
Yeah, no, it's a stereotype that's probably true. That's one of the stereotypes that's probably true.
They're so proud of being late, they call it CP time. They gave it a nice name.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
And so you're not able to tell me what's wrong with them, with the blacks?
I just don't, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like, I just think we're all the human race, man. I think it sounds lame, but I feel like that. I feel like I think we're all just the human race, one race. I think we're divided into all these subgenres to argue, and it's all divides the oneness of God from my perspective.
Amazing. Do you believe racism exists?
I mean, yeah, people tell me about it all the time. And I'm in a town where I'm like the only one. I'm in St. Louis. I'm the minority in St. Louis. So it's like, and people try to make fun of me.
I can't believe you still live in St. Louis, to be honest. I wouldn't live in St. Louis.
Why is that?
It's too dangerous.
Well, it looks like, look, we're here right now. It's nice, you know.
Don't let them know you're there.
That's so funny, man. I love it here, but it can be dangerous. But mostly just people asking for cigarettes, spare change, rides. They try to like steal dumb stuff. Like the crime here is really petty and juvenile. It's not really like that scary to me personally.
And so, do you believe racism exists?
Yeah, I think it exists. I think people experience it. I don't think I do really, or if I do, I don't care.
But you believe it exists?
I think so. I think some people are racist inherently. And
where is your proof that racism exists? You mean it?
I don't necessarily have proof. I'm going off other people saying. I don't need to experience it at all. And even if I did, I wouldn't care. I think that people tell me about it all the time and tell me that like people call them names and treat them differently and stuff like that. Like, people will tell me this, but through my experience, I don't really have to deal with it. You know what I mean? So I don't personally know. You know what I mean? As far as like what people actually, I only know secondhand from what people tell me. I don't, and people argue with me all the time about it and like tell me it's real and all this stuff. So like, I'm just saying from like conversations I've had, people seem to be affected by it. And like, but I don't think it's the excuse to not, I don't think it's an excuse to do nothing with your life though, either, you know?
And when they say that racism exists, they tell you this. Do you tell them that it does not exist?
I thought that at one point. At one point, I thought racism didn't exist, but then I do think it does now, though. So I think when I was younger, I used to say it didn't exist, but I do think it does.
And so,
at least,
and you believe that just because the people said it?
Testimony based, I think certain people and some people just tell me they're racist. I mean, so I mean, it's just, you know what I mean. It's just like, and I think that happened with that article when I got all that bad press, like one side calls me racist and the other side's mad I'm not racist. Like that's like how I feel in most of like this situation, you know, in the media world, you know.
I want you to know that racism does not exist, has never existed, cannot exist, no such thing. It's a made up word.
Okay, but what's the thought behind that? That's interesting.
It depends on the person's heart. If you're an angry, evil person, you're going to treat people that way. If you have overcome anger, you're going to treat people with love, meaning that you'll be honest, but you won't judge them. You won't be mad. And so it's a spiritual battle.
I agree with that 100%, actually. No, that's a great point.
So the word racism is just made up to divide and conquer. They made that word up so that they can control the people to get what they want.
I could see that. That's interesting. That's a great perspective, actually, man.
So the next time someone tells you that, just know that person hated you, they were angry, and they just had anger. It had nothing to do with the color thing per se. It was the anger of the heart.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's true. Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
And do you have anger?
Not right now. I mean, I think I control it pretty well.
And do you have it?
It's a situational thing, I think. I mean, I could at times, but I mean, not lately, you know.
And do you have anger?
Like, what do you mean?
Do you have anger?
Like at all?
Do you have anger?
Yeah, I mean, at times, yeah, I guess, but not now, you know.
And do you have it?
I don't know how to answer your question. I feel like I've answered. I could. I mean, it depends on the situation. I mean, I haven't been angry lately, you know.
But did you have it?
Only when people ask the same question. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Why don't you drop your anger and let it all be gone away so that you would never be moved by another situation, whether good or bad? You can be free. Why not let it go?
I should. It sounds awesome. I'm down.
And so why have you let it go? Why don't you just drop it?
No, it's a great question. And it's periodic. It's not like a thing. Yeah, mostly I'm like I said, now I'm like 38. I'm way more calm now. Well, I think I was just young. I think I was mad when I was young. I'm not really that angry anymore. I think I used to be when in my 20s or something, like early 20s. Everything just made me mad. I don't know what it was though.
Though it sounds like you might not get angry a lot all the time, but you still get angry because the spirit of anger is still inside of you.
Interesting. Yeah, no, fair. I still will, yeah.
And so why not get rid of that spirit so you can be free of it?
I should. No, I mean, I agree. I should.
And why don't you?
I lack the information, most likely.
I'm sorry?
I lack the information on that, most likely.
Oh, I see. And so if you knew how to overcome anger completely, you would drop it?
Yeah, I would in 10 seconds. Yeah, no, I immediately would.
Okay. Want me to tell you?
Yeah, yeah.
You got to forgive your mother for turning you away from your father.
Interesting.
And recreating you in her image. She was not a victim. She was a victimizer. That's why your father could not deal with her. Your father loved you, and when he left your mother. He did not leave you. And your mother deceived you. You got to forgive her.
I do forgive her, but that's interesting you say that. I can definitely see lines of that being correct. You know, that's interesting. I think, when one side tells a story, you think one side, I mean, you don't get the full story in the easiest way of saying it. But no, I mean, instinctually, it sounded real when he said that. Like, so, I mean, you know what I mean? It felt real when he said that. So yeah. I'm not going to debate that.
And so will you, though she's dead now, will you forgive her for turning you away from your father?
Oh yeah, definitely. I forgive her for anything, man.
And that makes sense to you, what I said?
It clicked when you said that. Yeah, no, it clicked
And
when you
why
said
do you
that.
think it made sense?
Well, because it probably happened. I mean, whenever people are, I mean, when you only hear one side of the story, you're being manipulated to a degree, even if it's even if it's somebody you care about. It's like their perspective and their feelings emotionally, and then what portrayed through their words to you. I think that's. But I think two things could be true, though. I think he could have qualities that weren't good, also, and then also, I think that
And
but I'm not.
forgive your father for not protecting you from her. He married his mama or made a baby with his mama because all men and women resent their mothers, and you become like what you resent, but you also become attracted to what you hate, right? And so when your father got involved with your mother, he was attracted to her because he hated her mother. And so he didn't know how to deal with your mother because he never overcame his mother. And all men end up getting involved with women who are just like their mothers, and the cycle repeats itself. And it's not going to change until you forgive your mother. And you will no longer be attracted to that spirit that's in other women.
That's very interesting, and like that's a very interesting perspective. And I tend to think that's true. I mean, that sounds real when you say it. Sounds real.
And I want you to know the reason it makes sense to you is because God is with you. He's inside of you. And he is causing you to see that this is true.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I
I
can't make you
definitely.
see that. You can't make yourself see it. Only God can make another human, or cause another human being to see the truth if they want it. He only going to do it with those who want the truth.
Yeah, not chase truth for sure. No,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah,
So if you want to get rid of the spirit of anger, you got to forgive your mother for recreating you in her image, and forgive your father for not protecting you. And God will forgive you when you forgive them for what they've done. They couldn't help themselves.
yeah. No, yeah, I get it. I forgive everybody, man. Like
Her
I feel like
mother,
that's part
her
of it.
mother did it to
Yeah,
her. Her mother did it to her, and she did it to you. And if you make babies without changing, your wife would do it to your children.
interesting.
What a
So
mess!
you what?
What a mess, huh?
Yeah, yeah. You're one of the most on point interviewers I think I've ever met in my entire life. The depth and reality you bring to a situation is impressive, to be honest. I'm pretty impressed. And a lot of podcasts. I mean, I went into this knowing who you were vaguely from reels and stuff, and like being kind of a fanboy, I guess. So this is to be expected. What I'm saying, but you're one of the best interviewers. Like literally, this is a deep. These are some deep questions and profound information. To be honest with you.
Well, I hope you take, it makes sense. I want to encourage you to start working on yourself. Look at those thoughts so you can see that those thoughts are not from you, they're not from God. They are evil thoughts. The ones that seem good and the ones that seem bad are both imposter. They're all lies, so that God can take you out of your imagination and make you free. All thoughts are all lies all the time, except practical thoughts about anything. So start paying attention to those thoughts and let them pass.
Interesting. Okay.
All right? I got to ask, should men play in women's sports?
Probably not. I don't know. I mean, either make it where everybody's on the team, or it's like an intergender team or whatever. I think there should only be trans sports. I think only trans people should be athletes.
and should women play in men's sports?
I mean, you don't see a lot of that because there's not much. There's not much advantage in that situation. You don't see a lot of that.
Let me ask you this. What do you think about and then I got to put you on the hot seat after this.
That's fair, yeah.
I
knew I was getting into it with you. I know you're wild.
What do you think about the attack on white men? White men are the most hated species on this side of heaven for no reason, zero reason. What do you think about the attack on white men today?
Oh, it's definitely currently happening. People just be mad at me just for being white. I'm just like, personally, I don't care. I'm like numb to stuff like that personally. But I think when it affects the entire like culture and stuff like that, I think it tends to be different. So I think a lot of people are held back by that. And I think that, I mean, I just know who I am, so it doesn't bother me as much. And I just think that's really trivial. And I think when people like the same people that are racist towards white people are people that say they hate racism. Like
Yeah.
they're like, I can't stand racism for white people.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
that's like how they sound to me personally. And it's like, but I mean, too sure. People, a lot of people misled and misguided and stuff. And it's just like, and we got to learn to love and accept everybody and forgive everybody. And I think that's what the goal is, to live in Christ's image, you know?
What God said, if you don't love all, you love none.
That's true.
You got to love all or none. So listen, I got to put you on the hot seat. So I need you to answer these questions as quickly as possible, all right?
Yes, sir.
The hot seat.
Is it true that the God above is the God of man and the God below is the God of the woman?
I don't even know how to answer that. You're wild for that one. I don't even know how I don't even know how to answer that, man. Like, that's crazy. Like, to me, but I see what you're saying though deeply. Like, I mean, like, the words sound crazy, but I see what you're saying almost.
And so, true or false? Is it true or false that God above is the God of man and the God below is the God of the woman? True or false?
I don't have an answer for that. I can't even answer that. I need more information. I feel like that's like I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that, bro.
Is the earth flat or round?
No, I assume round.
Do we need more white babies?
I mean, probably. Probably, yeah.
What is a man?
The best gender.
Did you take the jab?
Oh, no.
Is our border currently under invasion?
100%. Yes.
Have you ever seen a UFO?
No.
I'm sorry?
No, sir.
Kendrick or Drake?
I'm gonna go Kendrick on this one.
What is love?
The a really high frequency and the best feeling on earth, probably.
Who is the funniest comedian you ever met? Or
Ever
seen?
met?
Or seen?
Seen Bill. I like Bill Hicks a lot. Bill Hicks is probably my favorite comedian.
Who's that?
Bill Hicks.
Oh, okay. Does a chicken have lips?
No.
What?
No. Is that a trick question?
Is it wrong for a black man to love the Confederate flag?
No.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
I mean, yeah, I don't think they have bathrooms yet, so I think they still do, yeah.
True or false? The Jews own everything.
I think they're trying. I don't know if they do yet, but I think they're definitely trying.
True or false? Sending your child to a public school today is child abuse.
Mostly yes. Mostly true. Yes.
Did you have fun?
Here?
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude, you're a legend, man. I was very hyped to meet you, man. I was annoying you to either have you on my show or be on your show for about 6 months now, and I am hyped you even be able to talk to you, man. Like you're hilarious and you're on point, and yeah, no, of course, man. I think it's very nice to meet you, brother.
Well, thank you, and an honor to meet you. I totally enjoy that. Tell the folks how to get your podcast, your books, or whatever you want to put out there.
Yeah, just if you Google the Anthony Rogers Show, you can. We're on Rumble weekdays from 8:30 Central to which is 6:30 your time. I think you're. Wait, are you East Coast or what? You're West Coast?
Pacific time.
6:30 p.m. your time, 8:30 p.m. Central time. Every weekday, I'm a comedian. My co-host is a porn star, and we interview all kinds of people.
Right, amazing. Well, I really, really appreciate you coming on. I enjoyed it, man. And
likewise.
Don't forget, folks, to support Bond, go to support the Fallen State, go to rebuildingtheman.com/donate, or go to Locals, in the link there in the description, and go to locals.com. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe. And if you have any other guests you would like to see on the TheFallenState.tv, let us know. Let us hear from you about it. Thank you for coming on, man. That was fun.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you, man. Thank you very much for having me. And if you want to jump on my podcast at some point, I'd love to have you on as well. And I'll have less good questions. If you want to answer your worst questions than you asked me, You're welcome anytime.
That's funny. Amazing. I will. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
God bless you. Thank you.
All right. Take care now.